It's 6 a.m. on the 14th of March, and we are on the Freedom flight.
If he feels that strongly, he should just go knocking on their door.
Yeah.
And just literally beat the door down and have that relationship.
It's the divorce showdown that could go down as the wildest in Hollywood history, and the whispers coming out of Montecito are absolutely jaw-dropping. Reports from insiders claim Prince Harry is ready to fight like never before. He's allegedly pushing for sole custody of his kids. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle is said to be preparing a ruthless legal counterattack that's got everyone in their circle on edge. Sources say this legal storm could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Rumors are flying that Harry's hit his limit, accusing Meghan of intense emotional games, strict financial control, and even isolation moves meant to keep him in check. It's pure chaos behind those mansion walls, and fans are losing it online trying to piece it all together. Royal watchers are buzzing non-stop, claiming the once magical modern fairy tale has officially crashed and burned in the most dramatic way possible. The California court documents said to be floating around allegedly reveal a power struggle that's darker than anyone imagined. But listen, before we dive into these shocking files and jaw-dropping claims, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe right now. We're breaking down every rumored filing, leaked message, and insider whisper tied to this case. You won't want to blink because each new claim gets wilder than the last. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Harry or Team Meghan? Let's jump straight into the chaos and uncover the devastating truth behind this royal storm of control and revenge. For years, the public was sold the dream of a royal power couple who couldn't be shaken. Pure love, total unity, and that picture-perfect California glow. Their every photo screamed harmony. Their interviews painted a fairy tale escape from royal duty to peaceful freedom. But behind the tall iron gates of their luxurious Montecito mansion, whispers say a completely different story was unfolding. One that feels more like control than companionship. Insiders claim Meghan was calling every shot, from how they appeared in public to what they did behind closed doors. Allegedly, she held a tight grip on their image, their routines, and even her husband's loyalty. Some say she managed the Sussex brand like a high-stakes business, leaving no room for Harry to breathe freely. Every post, every photo, every move, all said to be carefully orchestrated. According to sources, Meghan allegedly believed Harry couldn't function without her direction, that he was so emotionally tied to her guidance, he'd never dare to leave. But insiders whisper that this went way beyond just running a household. It was about keeping psychological control at all times. The picture painted is chilling, a golden cage disguised as luxury, where even the simplest choices, from friends to charities, were filtered through one controlling vision. And here's where it gets even more intense. Former staff and Hollywood insiders have hinted that employees came and went at lightning speed, keeping Harry isolated and unsure of who to trust. The constant turnover meant he could never form close bonds, making it easier for his voice to fade in the background. It's like the invisible strings of a carefully crafted illusion, and the cracks are finally starting to show. Or maybe the story was completely rewritten. For months, fans have been side-eyeing those constant handholds, the intense PDA, and the almost synchronized body language, wondering if it was really love or just a strategic act. Many now believe it wasn't affection, but performance. A staged show to convince the world they were unbreakable, while real tension brewed behind those Montecito walls. Online buzz has exploded with claims that Harry was slowly being reduced to a background role in his own story, a royal sidekick trapped in paradise. Isolated in a country that never truly felt like home, cut off from his lifelong circle, and without any clear exit plan, he was allegedly living a reality far removed from the freedom he once fought for. That escape to freedom narrative, once so inspiring, was reportedly twisting into something darker, a quiet kind of captivity disguised as luxury. Insiders say that bubble of control couldn't last forever, and when it finally popped, the aftermath stunned everyone. They claim the tension reached a breaking point that no one saw coming, and that a single misstep changed their marriage for good. Sources allege that the pressure skyrocketed when financial control took over their relationship like a storm. Every dollar spent, every project pitched, every business move reportedly had to be approved and monitored. Harry, despite his own inheritance, was said to feel cornered and powerless, as if the money and the power were slipping away. Exclusive whispers suggest a serious imbalance in how the cash was handled, with talk of funds being directed toward private future plans rather than shared goals. The cracks were no longer hidden, they were wide open, and the fairy tale was quickly unraveling in real time. But the money, as fans speculate, was only the surface of a much darker story. Behind the glitz and smiles, whispers say the real damage came from a cold, calculated campaign of isolation. Reports claim Harry was slowly cut off from everyone who once grounded him. His oldest friends, trusted military brothers, lifelong advisors back in the UK, and eventually even his own family. Insiders allege that inside their California mansion, normal disagreements didn't stay small. They allegedly exploded into emotional standoffs where the children were used as leverage.
The children and her child would be what we call a harlequin. I've never heard of that one before. And would look nothing like any of those children. I know hundreds, and skin tone and hair will tell the true story. She used a surrogate. Sorry. Did a deep dive and she couldn't bear children.
What should have been private arguments reportedly turned into psychological battles, leaving Harry walking on eggshells. Online chatter suggests he was constantly reminded of all he had sacrificed, his titles, his family, his entire world, with the message that without her, he'd have no one. That's a brutal emotional trap to live in. Sources say his past pain was twisted into a weapon, a way to keep him compliant. Allegedly, any outside influence, any advice from old friends was framed as a threat to the family's safety. Every time he tried to quietly reach out, it was met with fierce resistance, turning simple acts of connection into acts of betrayal. These alleged tactics built a psychological cage meant to ensure total dependence. No escape routes, no backup, no voice of reason. But here's the wild twist, it all backfired. Instead of breaking him, that control lit a spark of rebellion deep inside the prince. Whispers say he started to see through the illusion, realizing those walls of control were closing in fast. And when that realization hit, it was explosive. The cracks in their billion-dollar image couldn't be hidden anymore. The perfect brand started falling apart piece by piece, and Hollywood insiders say the fallout has only just begun, and then everything reportedly exploded behind those mansion doors. Insiders say the pressure hit a boiling point when their biggest media deals came crashing down, shattering the public illusion of success. The sudden collapse of that multi-million-dollar podcast contract was allegedly the breaking moment, especially after major industry executives began openly questioning their professionalism and commitment. It was humiliation on a global scale, and the fallout inside their home was said to be intense. Fans believe this financial chaos only fueled Harry's growing frustration and resentment. The stress of keeping up an ultra-glam lifestyle without steady income allegedly turned their Montecito mansion into a pressure cooker. Imagine it. Endless bills stacking higher by the week, massive security costs, PR retainers, property taxes, all closing in while the money flow reportedly ran dry. The picture painted is pure financial panic mixed with emotional chaos. But that's when, according to whispers, something in Harry snapped. Sources claim he stopped quietly accepting every decision and started making moves of his own. Smart, secretive, and calculated. Rumors say he reached out to mental health professionals, not just to protect his sanity, but to better understand the emotional tactics he believed were controlling him day after day. It was like he was finally lifting the fog he'd been trapped in for years. And here's the twist that's got everyone talking. Allegedly, during their most heated moments, Harry began taking things to another level. Reports claim that under the pretense of therapy assignments and emotional tracking, and always within strict legal consent guidelines, he started quietly recording their arguments. If true, these recordings could be explosive, offering a raw look at what life inside that gilded cage really sounded like. The question is, what exactly did those tapes capture? Sources claim Harry wasn't just venting, he was documenting. Behind the scenes, he was allegedly collecting receipts, building a private archive of evidence in case things ever took a turn for the worst. It's said he had finally realized the harsh truth. If he ever chose to walk away, it would be his word against one of the most media-savvy, image-controlled women on the planet. He knew that without hard proof, the public might never believe his side of the story. Whispers suggest he became obsessed with protecting himself, tracking every tense conversation, every circular argument, every moment that made him question reality. Insiders say he wanted irrefutable evidence of what really went down once the cameras stopped rolling. And that same proof, according to rumors, would lead to the most jaw-dropping twist in modern royal history. Then came the date that allegedly shook both Hollywood and Buckingham Palace, January 17th, 2025. That's when sources claim Prince Harry officially filed for dissolution of marriage in the Los Angeles Superior Court. And here's the wild part. Insiders insist it wasn't a heated, emotional outburst. It was a calculated strike, executed quietly, precisely, almost militarily, every step planned down to the minute. Exclusive reports say Harry discreetly packed his essentials, slipped out of the Montecito mansion under total secrecy, and immediately sought bulletproof legal protection for himself and his children. The level of secrecy was so intense that even seasoned Hollywood paparazzi had no clue what was unfolding. Online chatter exploded with theories about how he pulled off such a stealth move, allegedly keeping the entire operation hidden not only from the media and household staff, but even from Meghan herself until the official papers were filed and stamped. It's the kind of real-life plot twist no one saw coming. A royal move carried out like a covert mission, shaking the very image of the couple that once claimed to rewrite the rules of modern love. Fans are convinced that the insane level of secrecy behind Harry's move proves just how terrified he was of her reaction, and how desperate the situation had really become. Whispers suggest he knew that one wrong step could blow everything up, so he kept his plan locked down tighter than a royal vault. According to reports, he didn't go for the usual flashy Hollywood divorce lawyers. Instead, he quietly hired a fierce, ultra-discreet legal team known for handling brutal international custody wars. That's not just a split, that's preparation for battle. Sources claim the divorce petition looked simple on paper, listing irreconcilable differences, but the real story was buried in the sealed addendums. Those secret files reportedly detailed the deep emotional damage of the marriage and demanded strict boundaries, both for custody and across international lines. Insiders say it was a move engineered to be swift, shocking, and devastating, leaving no time for negotiation, manipulation, or a PR counterattack. When the papers hit, it was like a legal thunderbolt. Meghan allegedly had no idea it was coming. Harry's team dropped the documents with military timing, blindsiding everyone in their orbit. But the Duchess of Sussex, as whispers go, wasn't about to surrender quietly. Not after years of controlling the public narrative. She was ready to strike back, and fast. Rumors claim her next step would set the stage for a Hollywood war like no other. A showdown filled with power plays, leaks, and explosive counterclaims. As the news started to break, desperate efforts to control the story reportedly went into overdrive. But once the truth of that secret January filing hit the Montecito mansion, insiders say the fallout went nuclear. The silence turned into chaos overnight, and from that point on, nothing about the perfect royal couple would ever look the same again. According to insiders, Meghan was completely blindsided by Harry's stealth legal move, caught off guard as her carefully polished narrative began slipping straight through her fingers. One moment, she was in control of the story. The next, it was spiraling beyond her reach. Rumors claim she instantly switched into full-blown damage control mode, scrambling to assemble an emergency war room of PR fixers and crisis managers to try and salvage her public image before the story consumed her. Her first move, according to reports, was a bold one. She allegedly called in none other than Laura Wasser, the celebrity divorce powerhouse known for tearing opponents apart in Los Angeles family court. That single hire sent shockwaves across Hollywood. Fans saw it as a clear declaration of war. It was her way of saying she wasn't backing down, not for a second. The message? She was ready for blood in the courtroom. Exclusive whispers suggest her team immediately launched into a high-speed, high-stakes cover-up campaign, working day and night to flip the story on its head. Their alleged mission: turn the tables, make Harry look unstable, and reclaim control of the narrative. Insiders say her camp started leaking stories to friendly outlets, subtly painting her as the real victim, a heartbroken wife blindsided by a husband spiraling into paranoia and confusion. Online buzz exploded with claims that these leaks described Harry as mentally fragile, framing his secret exit not as a calculated act of self-preservation, but as the reckless move of a man losing touch with reality. It was said to be a ruthless spin designed to drown out his evidence and redirect sympathy toward her. And here's where it gets even more intense. Insiders allege that every favor she had in Hollywood was suddenly cashed in. PR teams, talk show hosts, tabloid editors, all allegedly called upon to protect her image and flood the headlines with poor Meghan stories. It was a rumored masterclass in media manipulation crafted to bury his claims under waves of emotion and empathy. The spotlight she once controlled so easily was now her battleground, and she wasn't about to lose it without a fight. She believed she had Hollywood locked down, every headline, every outlet, every insider ready to silence his side before it ever saw daylight. For a while, it looked like she'd done it. Her grip on the narrative was iron tight, but that control didn't last long. And what happened next stunned everyone. The glossy PR machine that once worked like clockwork slammed into a brick wall when the first major leak hit the press, and it changed everything. The global media went into meltdown. According to online chatter, a devastating sworn declaration, allegedly filed by Prince Harry himself, somehow slipped into the hands of reporters. Its rumored contents? Absolutely explosive. This wasn't just some dry divorce document. Insiders claim it read like a total deconstruction of the entire Sussex brand. The leaks reportedly tore open the image they'd built, exposing the cracks that had been hiding in plain sight. Sources say the declaration outlined years of emotional strain and alleged psychological control, painting a chilling picture of isolation and manipulation. It reportedly described how Harry was slowly cut off from reality, controlled, silenced, and emotionally cornered. Fans are convinced it detailed brutal private moments that completely shattered his confidence. Whispers online claim it even recounted times when he was publicly humiliated, allegedly berated right before major appearances, then forced to walk out smiling for the cameras as if nothing had happened. The thought of him standing under those bright red carpet lights, pretending to be fine while breaking inside, has sent shockwaves across social media. That single leak didn't just wound their image, it cracked open the royal illusion itself, and once those details hit the internet, there was no going back. Sources claim the leaked papers painted a heartbreaking and disturbing picture, a dynamic where Harry's confidence was slowly shattered, leaving him completely reliant on her approval just to feel grounded. Every decision, every emotion, allegedly filtered through her reaction, until his self-worth was chipped down to almost nothing. But the most shocking theory to come out of this leak revolves around his desperate plea for help. According to insider whispers, Harry practically begged for intense couples counseling, pleading for a chance to repair what was left of their crumbling marriage.
Prince Harry wants to reconcile with his family, but claims King Charles won't speak to him, adding that he doesn't know how long his father has left. He's also angry over losing his UK security and says it's impossible for him to bring his family back here because of concerns over safety.
He wanted to fix things, to rebuild the family he fought so hard to protect. But rumor has it his requests were flat out denied, with claims that she dismissed therapy altogether, insisting he was the problem and that her behavior needed no fixing at all. That alleged rejection of help hit him harder than anything else. A cold message that the marriage wasn't about healing, it was about control. Insiders say that moment became the breaking point. The second he realized this wasn't a partnership anymore, but a one-sided power struggle he could never win. And when the public got wind of these chilling details, it sent shockwaves through the world. People couldn't believe how a story once sold as a fairy tale love had spiraled into something so dark, so isolating, and so tragic. Every headline, every post, every whisper made it clear. The dream was unraveling in real time. But buried deep in those confidential court filings was something even more explosive. If that leaked psychological declaration was the spark, then what Harry allegedly did next was the full-blown detonation. A legal move so severe it would flip the entire case upside down and change everything we thought we knew about the royal fallout. Insiders say that the fallout hit immediately. Major corporate partners and media sponsors reportedly froze their contracts overnight, terrified of being linked to a brand collapsing in real time. What was once seen as the image of compassion and modern romance had now morphed into a cautionary tale of control, chaos, and heartbreak. The shiny illusion of the deeply in love philanthropists had crumbled, exposing what sources describe as a cold, calculated relationship built on power and isolation instead of trust and unity. Reports claim Meghan's carefully managed public image, that of a misunderstood victim of royal cruelty, was instantly overshadowed by a much darker narrative. Suddenly, the world was whispering that she wasn't the one being controlled, but the one doing the controlling. The irony was almost unbearable. The couple who once demanded absolute privacy were now at the center of one of the most invasive public unmaskings Hollywood had ever witnessed. Every photo, every interview, every public move from the past 5 years was now being dissected frame by frame. Fans felt duped, questioning what was real and what had been a performance. The online storm was merciless. The sympathy that once built their empire was gone, replaced with skepticism and disbelief. And with their image in ashes and the world watching closely, there was only one place left for the truth to unfold: the courtroom. What began as a modern fairy tale of a prince crossing oceans for love had spiraled into the most brutal kind of Hollywood showdown imaginable. The cold reality: there are no royal protections left, no palace spin doctors, no diplomatic shields to hide behind. It's just two people, once adored around the world, now locked in a legal battlefield where every secret risks becoming public, and every move could be their last. Insider reports paint a chilling picture of what's unfolding inside the California family court. A brutal showdown where the couple's most private secrets are being weaponized in a no-holds-barred fight for custody and fortune. Every financial record, every property deed, every whispered conversation is reportedly being dragged under the harsh fluorescent glare of the courtroom. This isn't just a divorce, it's a total war, and nothing is off limits. Exclusive whispers suggest the children have become the ultimate heartbreaking prize in a scorched earth legal battle where both sides are allegedly ready to tear down the other's reputation to win. The emotional toll is said to be unimaginable, a devastating irony for a couple who once claimed they escaped the monarchy for peace, love, and freedom. Instead, that grand California dream has allegedly twisted into something far darker. The Duke of Sussex, who once fled the royal life to escape generational trauma, is now said to be caught in a new kind of cage. Not golden, but ruthless. He traded the silent, polished power games of the palace for the loud, relentless spectacle of a Hollywood courtroom where every secret, every emotion, every tear becomes entertainment for millions. And that's the true tragedy, that the man who wanted freedom may have found himself trapped in the most public prison of all, the court of celebrity judgment. It makes you wonder, is ultimate freedom really worth the price when the whole world is watching your downfall? Because in the end, even the brightest castles can hide the darkest dungeons. And this royal story might be the perfect proof of that haunting truth. If you've been following this shocking saga, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose side do you believe, and what do you think happens next?